We now want to take a look at the difference between public goods and private goods. A private good is a good that is subject to what we call the exclusion principle. It is subject to the exclusion principle. If you go out to purchase a bottle of water, that water benefits one person and one person only. The use of that particular good is made to benefit one particular person, excluding everybody else from benefiting from that good. A public good, on the other hand, is a good that once the good is produced, it cannot exclude anybody from benefiting from that good. If you think of a lighthouse on the coast of Maine, ship-going traffic coming in, you could be the best captain around. You might know where every nook and cranny or rock is on that Maine coast. However, once we put a lighthouse in there, up there, there is no way of not allowing you to benefit. Everybody benefits from the good. We have a system of law enforcement. Once that system is in place, there's no way of excluding anybody from that particular system. Let's assume that your house is robbed. You haven't paid your taxes, but yet a policeman will come out, take a report. They will follow up on it. There's no way of excluding that. However, on a private good, once a good is provided, it excludes everybody else from benefiting from that. The market sometimes does not allow us to have productive or allocative efficiency. Productive efficiency is getting the product at the lowest price. Allocative efficiency is the ability to allocate or to distribute resources necessary in order for us to do that. We might allocate too many resources to a particular good than we should. The market fails to allocate not enough resources to the particular good. And to do that, we call these market failures externalities. We have positive externalities, we have negative externalities. A positive externality is also called a spillover benefit. A negative externality is also called a spillover cost. A spillover cost is a cost that spills over onto a third party. A spillover benefit is a benefit that spills over onto a third party. And I've just drawn two market diagrams here, one labeled pollution, one labeled HIV vaccine. We have a particular product that's being produced, steel. In the production of steel, it emits fumes into the air that are detrimental to our health. The fumes, the pollution, the particles that are bad fall into our ground. They get into our water tables. They get into our vegetables. The animals that we consume eat the grass or the hay or what have you, and we ingest that then. So therefore, as it stands right now, there is no incentive for this particular company. There is no incentive for this particular company to reduce the amount of goods that it should produce, the amount of steel that it should make. We can band together as a society and ask them, but again, there's no guarantee that they would do it. There is no incentive for them to do it. So therefore, the government can come in. The government can come in not necessarily telling the producer what he can and can't produce, assuming it's a legal good, but they can come in and they can say, for every amount of steel that you produce, I'm going to call this amount QO. You have to pay a tax. Now, that tax, if you go back to one of the earlier chapters on demand and supply, we saw that taxes affect the supply curve. The higher the tax, the supply will decrease, and therefore my supply curve will move from S to S prime. I now have a more optimal amount of steel that I'm getting. All right, I'm paying a higher price from P to P prime. So therefore, this can be corrected by increasing taxes or fines, if you want to think of them as fines, or through regulation. Regulation meaning that the government can come in, and if you want to open up a steel manufacturing facility, you have to have certain scrubbers, you have to have certain filters in place for them to do that. Now, it's interesting, we just covered something called producer surplus and consumer surplus. With this situation, we have an amount of the good that is not being produced. This particular amount, we are now accepting this. This triangle in here, this triangle, this is the area, this amount in here is the area that is lost to society. That is this area that is not being produced in order to give us allocative and productive efficiency. We call this area dead weight loss. Simply because it is the amount of the area that is being lost to society for us wanting to have less. On the other hand, a spillover benefit is one which we can take a look at with HIV vaccine. Let's assume for a moment that we have no insurance in our world right now, and that only those people that can afford the HIV vaccine can get it. Well, that doesn't really stop HIV. All it does is make it available to those who can afford it. So the only way to completely eradicate, to erase the effects of HIV is to inoculate everybody with this. Well, right now, the particular pharmaceutical company is producing Q amount of vaccine at price P. They don't want to, they're allocating other resources to the production of aspirin, to the production of amoxicillin, Levaquin, or whatever other drugs they have. So then the government realizes that in order to eradicate this, to erase this effect, we need to have more of this good. So the government will, in effect, come in and subsidize the company. Because of that, the company will increase its supply, the price of the good goes down, and the quantity amount goes up to QO here. However, in this particular situation, again, we have dead weight loss. This is the amount that should be provided. But in this triangle, this is the amount of over-allocation that we have to the production of this good. So that amoxicillin, so that aspirin, so that nose sprays, or what have you, are not being produced because resources are being reverted away from those. So this gives you the idea of public good versus private good, gives you the idea of consumer surplus, put together with the idea of market failure, productive and allocative efficiency, and externalities. If you have any questions at all, please email me them personally. Put the same question on discussion board. I will respond to your email personally to you, and likewise put it on discussion board. Thank you very much, and have a good day.